Hello? Gaming Disorder Research Center, Daria speaking.
Hello, this is Kristen from the American Psychology Association. I need to ask you a few pointed questions about your recent publication that suggests that gaming addiction might actually be a real condition.
I hear what you're saying. It's tempting to pass it off as an impulse control issue or a displacement activity for people who are experiencing unhappiness in other parts of their lives. Maybe even want to blame it on poor parenting. But the reality of the situation is that for a small percentage of people playing video games, addiction is real and it can cause serious problems. In fact, the World Health Organization is adding gaming disorder to its list of international classification of diseases in 2018. I appreciate that people are suffering from playing games to excess. They might find their real life relationships suffering. They might experience sleep disturbances or sacrifice their work, education, socialization as a result. Exactly. People with gaming addiction experience problems with impulse control, behavioral inhibition, executive functioning, attention, and cognitive function in general. But here's the problem. These symptoms could result from a number of different disorders. And as an association, the APA, we're a little picky. We feel that the criteria used to diagnose gaming disorder or addiction aren't specific enough. I completely disagree. Gaming addiction has a number of traits and symptoms associated with it, and the neurobiology of addiction lines up clearly with this disorder. For example, people who are addicted to gaming, their behavior for them is salient. That means that they're preoccupied with gaming. They use it to modify their mood, similar to how someone might use a narcotic. Addicted individuals develop a tolerance and need to play more and more to experience relief. And it really is relief. People who are addicted to gaming are not playing for fun. They're playing to avoid dissatisfaction or discomfort. Furthermore, addicted individuals actually experience withdrawal if they stop playing. They develop inter and intra-personal conflicts as a result of their gaming, and more often than not, they experience a relapse if they try to stop. Oh. And I can go on. There are tons of risk factors for gaming addiction, which teachers and parents can actually watch out for. You mean like personality traits? People who are sensation seeking, neurotic, or aggressive might be more likely to become addicted? You got it. The reasons people choose to play are risk factors too. If people are playing to escape or cope with stress, they might be more likely to become addicted. It can also be a problem if they're relatively unsuccessful in real life. In certain instances, people are more likely to develop a gaming addiction when they feel more successful in their online persona than they do in real life. And I haven't even mentioned the structural characteristics of the game that can cause addiction. So those are things like different lights and sounds that provide positive reinforcement, the exciting adult content that some games feature, and the gambling-like elements like loot crates or rare in-game finds. I hear what you're saying, but I still feel like we can't definitively say that people are addicted to the gaming or if they're experiencing some other mental illness and gaming is just how it manifests. In fact, studies have also found that gaming can improve some of these mental illnesses and disorders. Surely in your research, you came across the 2012 New Zealand study where researchers cured a bunch of teenagers who'd been struggling with depression by having them play a video game called Sparks. Well, no, actually, I hadn't. You should take a look. The acronym, which stands for SMART, Positive, Active, Realistic, and X Factor Thoughts, teaches teens strategies that have been commonly used to battle depression. A group of 168 teens with an average age of 15 were divided into two groups, one who continued with traditional therapy, and the other, a control group who engaged in a fantasy game where they created avatars in order to squash gloomy, negative automatic thoughts and restore order to the virtual world. Each level taught players basic facts about depression, strategies for dealing with intense negative emotions, and relaxation techniques. The results for the Sparks group were extremely encouraging. About 44% of Sparks players recovered completely from depression, while only 26% of the control group were no longer depressed. So, you see, we can't ignore the positive elements of gaming, even gaming in excess. Yeah, ultimately, you're right. The complexity of the issue is leading to all sorts of diagnostic conundrums. We need to consider the broader context of the individual, the game, and the gaming environment, and the cultural framework. And we can't just use medicine to fix it. We need to understand what meaning the individual is attaching to it so we can treat the actual problem. Ah, I win! Not so fast. Research is showing us that self identification is basically as accurate as any diagnostic procedure that we have currently developed, which means that if people feel like they're addicted to gaming, then they essentially are, whether science can prove it or not. And we know from MRIs that gaming routinely accesses the same areas of the brain as any other addictions and can have lasting neurological consequences. So to rule it out as a myth would be irresponsible. But our researchers have countless details about the ways that regular gaming leads to an increase in gray matter. In fact, it improves multiple human functions, improves coordination, helps develop problem solving skills, improves memory, benefits concentration and attention. It can be an excellent learning resource, improves the speed of brain functions, enhances multitasking skills, and improves social skills and teamwork. I don't disagree that there are countless positive aspects of regular gaming, but you can't deny the fact that many teens, children, and even adults are simply checking out of their daily lives because of the excessive nature of their gaming habits. I guess what I'm trying to get at is that when it's a problem, we need to have supports in place as we would for any other illness or disorder. So you're saying that whether we can diagnose it or not, we need to treat it? And we need to take steps to help children and teens limit their gaming in order to prevent addiction? Yes, it's like gambling or drinking. Some people can go to a casino regularly or have a beer at the end of the day and not experience any problems as a result. But for some others, it can be really debilitating. We need to educate ourselves and our children to recognize the signs of a problem. You know, you've made some excellent points, Daria. I'm actually expecting a patient's phone call in a few minutes, and wouldn't you know it, she wants advice with her daughter's video game addiction. I think what we can agree on today is that video game addiction doesn't need an official designation or diagnosis. When onlookers are capable of recognizing the signs and symptoms of destructive behaviors, we need a support system in place to help these individuals get back on track and lead healthy, productive lives. You're absolutely right. And parents and teachers should set boundaries around time spent gaming and set them early in a child's gaming career. I believe it's also important that we demonstrate good gaming habits and active positive role models. Abstinence is rarely an effective tool for controlling behaviors, and we need to accept that there are positives to gaming as well, as long as it's kept under control. Well, I certainly appreciate your insight and reflections, Daria. Oh, I see my other line lighting up right now. I'm gonna have to let you go. For sure. Thanks for the call, Kristen. Good afternoon. This is Kristen Tech.
Oh, hi, Dr. Tech. It's Sarah Jacobs. We spoke last week about my concerns with my daughter's gaming habits. I'm sorry we couldn't make it in to see you, but I appreciate you taking the time to give me some tips and guidance over the phone.
No problem at all, Sarah. In fact, I just had a quite lively conversation with a researcher from the Gaming Disorder Research Center around this very topic.
Oh, wonderful. I'm sure you know exactly what's wrong with her then and what I can do to fix her.
Well, not exactly. In fact, if anything, I probably have more questions than I did before after speaking with the researcher. But what I've come to realize is that addiction or not, diagnosis or not, what matters is how this behavior is affecting your daughter's health and well-being. So let's start with a few questions.
Okay, sure.
Does your daughter withdraw from school or social activities for the sake of gaming? And has the gaming caused her stress in day-to-day thinking that you're aware of?
Well, no, she goes out with friends a few times a week and her marks have never been better.
Oh, okay, that's a great start. Does she disregard healthy eating and personal hygiene habits for the sake of gaming?
No, I guess not.
Good to hear. What about when she's not playing? Does she go on and on about the game with others?
Well, no, but the second she's finished her chores, reading, math homework, and dinner, it seems she can't get to the games fast enough.
You know, Sarah, a colleague of mine, Dr. Conrad, has done quite a bit more research than I have on technology addiction. He developed an online test for video game addiction so parents know when help is needed. I wonder if it might help you to better understand your daughter's gaming habits. Would you be interested in taking a peek?
Oh, sure, that would be great.
Once you've finished, let me know if her habits are falling within a range that is a cause for concern, and we'll go from there. In the meantime, talking with your daughter about your concerns, ensuring you've set some guidelines and boundaries, watching for signs that she's neglecting herself or relationships, and ensuring that others in your household are being good role models for healthy game use will all support a safe and healthy mindset around gaming.
Thanks, Dr. Tech. I'll be sure to take the quiz right away and I'll let you know if I'm still concerned. Have a great day. Thanks for the call.
Okay, bye.